Hello,
I
my
have
friend.
a lot to fucking say today. I have a lot to fucking say today. So many things.
Oh, he's ready. He's ready. Dalton, welcome.
Hello, hello.
T-Man is here.
It's me. I'm back.
Dalton, I don't know if you heard, but Chris has a lot to say today. He is ready.
Honestly, I'm not all that surprised.
Everybody should leave.
Well, welcome
predict-
everyone. Yeah, go ahead, Dalton.
Oh, I predict Chris is probably going to drop about 9 times this episode to make up for last one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, welcome everyone to episode 26 of South of the Blue Line. We are almost done with the first round of the playoffs. First off, boys, we have made $3 so far.
Not
Doesn't
bad.
that go to your girl? Doesn't that go to your girlfriend, Mike?
Yeah, I saw that you signed away all our revenue.
So she's a high-profile guest. We gotta do what we can, right?
That's true. We gotta lure her on somehow. Well, boys. So I have obviously stuff written down, and with so how do you want to do this, Chris? Do you want to just start with the Blues games from last week?
No. Let's just talk because I'm gonna go on a pretty big rant about the Jets. So, maybe I don't know. Maybe we could talk about that goal from last night. That's just total horseshit.
Oh, the Leafs goal.
Yeah. Well, is there another one?
I mean, there was the one in the Flames game for that goaltender interference that was kind of questionable.
Yeah,
But it got ruled no goal, so.
Yes, I mean we can talk about both of them. So I mean, the one you're talking about is the Austin Matthews goal to make it 1-0, right?
Sure. Yeah. So apparently FIFA has taken over the NHL, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
What a
so
ratchet up the fucking cricket level. Yeah, it's great.
I was just a little confused because honestly, if you look at the two, if you actually put the Flames goal that was called back and the Leafs goal that was called a good goal next to each other, they look pretty similar.
Yeah, I think pretty much the only difference is that the Leafs goal was called a goal on the ice, where I don't think the Flames was.
Yes, I think that is the main difference, and what the NHL release said was the difference is it was called a goal on the ice, and the other one was not.
Yeah, which is also straight up garbage. Because how is that Leafs goal a goal, dude? That's textbook.
So you know what they got to do? They've got to just eliminate that rule that the call on the ice has to be overruled one way or another. If you're gonna review a goal, start with a clean fucking slate and review it properly.
You know
that's
what?
got to be number one.
Yeah, I agree, but also just take away all goal reviews. I don't even care anymore, man. Just get rid of them all.
Well, I mean, you know what, Dalton? I agree with you if they're going to continue to get them fucking wrong all the time. If you're going to review it and still get it wrong, then let's not slow the game down for 5 damn minutes while you get it wrong.
Yeah.
Let's just let the refs call the game as they see it.
Exactly. Either the refs are going to take a while and they're going to get it right, which I haven't seen happen near enough. It feels like a coin flip if they're going to get it right. But if it's so close already, it's just it's so frustrating to watch.
How are you guys going to tell me? I don't know. Have you looked at that replay recently?
Which one?
The rascal.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure what the NHL is saying, but are they saying that Rask was not going to be able to get over there? Is that what they're trying to say?
So they're saying that the goal was called a goal on the ice, right? The official. I actually read the official thing this morning. It was called a goal on the ice, and there was no I guess they're saying is Rask probably wasn't going to make the save anyways, and there was no definitive evidence, I guess, to call it back.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they talked about the Rask not making the save part, because if that's in there, that's super garbage.
Let's see. NHL.
So let's analyze this. So I'm looking at it over and over again right now. And it's just on a GIF. And so the Leafs player cross-checks McQuaid, forcing him backwards into Rask, into the blue paint. right between Rask's legs, knocking Rask down, and then Rask still almost gets over to stop the puck. You are not telling me that if that player does not make contact with Tuukka Rask, that he's not going to have a much better shot at hitting that, to making that save.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, that was a good shot by Matthews, but that's still a savable puck.
It's fucking ridiculous. There is no. I don't know. I'm beside myself right now. Anyway, I think we could probably be angry about it all day and make like a whole podcast just raging about it, but it's over. So
yeah,
you know,
the Bruins players. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
The Bruins players themselves, I think, handled it really well. Like especially in the interviews after the game, stuff like that. Right? They're basically saying like, "Hey, it sucks, but it happened, and we had to respond better than we did," which I also agree with because the Bruins just kind of rolled over and died for a little bit there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because you lose your focus.
I have the transcript from the NHL situation. All right, so it says at 11:33 of the third period in the Maple Leafs Bruins game, Boston requested a coach's challenge to review whether Toronto's Zach Hyman interfered with Tuukka Rask prior to Austin Matthews' goal. After reviewing all available replays and consulting with the referees, the Situation Room confirmed the referee's call on the ice. The decision was made in accordance to Rule 78.7. It states, in part, if a review is not conclusive and or there is any doubt whatsoever as to whether the call on the ice was correct, the original call on the ice will be confirmed. Therefore, the call on the ice stands. Good goal, Toronto Maple Leafs.
So they're saying they didn't have definitive proof.
So they've kind of like listening to the way that's written without any doubt at all. Like if there's any doubt at all, you can't overrule it. So I guess there has to be even a sliver of doubt that I don't know. I'm trying to figure out why they did it, but
though I will say that I feel like while I think I agree, well, probably shouldn't have counted. Also, the one goal Boston scored in this game was offsides. So it's either a 2-1. It's either a true. Well, and so that's what I'm saying. Is like looking at it is like obviously not definitively, but like looking at it, it's offsides. So at this point, it's a 2-1 Leafs win or a 1-0 Leafs win. So.
No, so I'm going to make two counters to that. Okay, so the first counter is, why didn't the Leafs challenge it? They were well within their rights to do that.
They weren't
allowed
to.
And they have an opportunity to look. Why were they not allowed to?
Because in the last minute, or maybe it's 2, the Situation Room in Toronto is the only one that's allowed to review goals.
Yes, in playoffs.
So how did they miss that one?
They checked, but they couldn't get a camera angle that showed that he was offside.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Also, it was one of those plays where it was like it was offside, but like, come on, dude.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I hate the offside rule. I feel like there should be like some caveats or something like that, especially like because play went on for so much longer after they'd entered the zone already.
Yeah, and it was just so barely offside if it was offside.
Yeah.
Wait, but you had another point, Chris, I think.
No, I don't. We should move on.
All right.
All right. So we actually haven't talked about the Nazem Kadri suspension while we're on the Leafs.
What a piece of shit that guy is.
Right.
So, Kadri, so DeBrusque smashes Marleau into the stanchion. Kadri retaliates, hits him in the head, and he is suspended for not a set amount of games, but the duration of the series.
Which I kind of think, I think they got it right.
So first off, bad hit. Bad hit. And I actually have a stat here. Since 2010, there are 5 people that have the most suspensions, not amount of games, amount of time suspended. 2 people are tied for first since 2010. Can you guess who those 2 people are?
Is it Nazem Kadri?
Yes.
And John Carlson? John Carlson?
Not John Carlson.
Is it Tom Wilson?
Here, it is not Tom Wilson. Tom Wilson is is third on this list with 3. Here, I'll give you a hint. Former Oiler.
Is it Cogs? It's not Cogs. Can't be Cogs.
It is Rafi Torres.
Oh, that makes so much more sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah, Kadri and Rafi Torres are tied at 5 suspensions since 2010.
God, I forgot that plug even. He got suspended for like 20 games last season or something like that, right?
Torres got suspended near the end of his career for 41.
Oh, probably deserved.
Yeah, I mean,
he was really good in the 2016 or the 2006 playoffs, though.
Yeah.
He was so good. He's
destroying
people.
Yeah, that was a hell of a team. But I don't want to talk about it. It'll hurt my heart. So, I mean, CAD suspension. I mean, so they give him duration of the series, basically telling him you're not allowed to play against Boston. That's basically what they're saying. And he gets minimum of 3, maximum of 5. So, I mean, are we happy with that?
No.
Kinda.
If he was not a repeat offender, I think that play in of itself for a first-time offender, that would be an appropriate suspension. But considering Kadri has shown that he does this shit all the time, no, absolutely not. It should have been.
You have to think this is the second year in a row against Boston in the first round that Kadri has hit someone and been suspended.
Mm-hmm. He should be suspended for the balance of the playoffs. That's an appropriate suspension.
I don't know if I'd go quite that far.
Why? Do you think that behavior is acceptable? Would you ever do something like that to another hockey player?
I mean,
really? Are you being realistic here? You're not that kind of player, are you?
Not most of the time. But what happens in midget stays in midget. Also, God, dude, those games were lawless. Holy fun times.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I've watched some Junior B games in Alberta. I know what you mean.
Oh, fuck me. Don't go watch Junior C or watch Junior C if you just want to see people fight for like 20 minutes straight.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. I'm on like the low end of this suspension is okay. Like, because I'm pretty sure the Maple Leafs are going to lose this round anyways, so it doesn't really matter. But it just kind of, it feels like it should, the 3 games that it could have been feels way too low. The 5 seems a little bit closer to okay. But I'm probably leaning to more like a 6, a 7 game suspension for this.
Yeah, I mean, we know the NHL values playoff games more than regular season games.
For a good reason.
Right. And I think, well, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's right. I mean, playoff games are a lot more important than regular season games. So I think that they are trying to, they handed it where the maximum was 5, and I think they kind of were banking on Toronto and Boston going 7 again anyways. So he gets the 5, and then they don't want to, I guess, handicap people going into their next playoff round. So they wanted it to be like a clean slate almost.
Oh, so you're thinking this was less of a hockey decision, more of a kind of a business decision?
I think so. I think they're like, we have to give him 5. It'll probably go 5 anyways. So they hit him with the 5. They hit him with the 5 game, and then next round starts over, and Kadri already has like the, listen, you do something like this, like you'll be out. I think right if he goes into the second round and then does like right, let's say the Leafs win and Kadri game 3 against Columbus clocks Duchesne or something like that, bad hit, dirty hit, he's out for the whole playoffs. I think they just kick him out at that point. But I think this one is like they don't want to handicap a team going into the next round.
I think you're way overthinking this, Mike. I think that so by that logic, you know, if I'm playing for the Winnipeg Jets and I'm playing the Edmonton Oilers and it's like game 7 and we're up like 6-3, we're gonna knock the Oilers over. So I'm just gonna skate into the corner and cross-check McDavid in the neck and break my stick on his neck because hey, suspend me until the next round. It's stupid.
Yeah.
The suspension should be considering what the infraction is and the person's history, and that should be it. There should not be other variables put into it. I don't think. That's my personal opinion. But anyway.
Well, I agree. I don't think there should be other variables, but I feel like that's how it was probably maybe put into effect.
I think there's honestly, I think there's just a lot of politics in the NHL, and I think that they really need to find a way. I've said this like several times during our podcast. I think they've got to find a way to revamp their entire officiation player protection system, whether it be like another company takes it over, an independent body takes it over or something. It's just too flawed the way it is now. Referees are so variable within games, within like parts of the season, within seasons. The player safety rulings are different. Like they're so different, and it just opens up.
On Twitter, I see some suggestions for someone like Sean Avery to take over George Parros's job.
My God, if that man even does anything, that'd be garbage. Are you kidding me?
You don't think that'd be good? I think because he was a rat. I think that'd be perfect. I think he can look at a hit and be like, I know exactly what you're trying to do there.
He was calling for Matthews to 1v1 DeBrusque at center ice in order for the Leafs to win the series.
Perfect.
It's like, no, I think it needs to change, but I think it almost needs to be at a more fundamental level for the referees. Like,
it's got to be more cut and dry. Yeah. There's got to be less gray area.
I think it needs to be less variability, and I think how you do that is you actually increase the amount of referees on the ice. Because right now, well, I think it was long because you're having a greater sample size, right? Because all of a sudden you go from 2 to 4, you have 4 eyes on something. All of a sudden, it's less variability across the referees. So you should, in theory, have a more consistent game called.
I don't know. I feel like at that point you're cluttering it up. I just feel like you should, like, playoffs or not, you should call the rules the way they're supposed to be called. I feel like refs maybe take too much time. They don't want to be right. They want everything to be fair, right? If I'm going to make 3 calls on this team, I'm going to make 3 calls on the other team, sort of thing. And they don't want to like tip that balance too much. Where I feel like if one team is taking advantage of it, I feel like they should just be like, that's a penalty. And if the penalties end up being like 7-3 skewed one way, the other team is just, they do that to themselves, Yeah.
Well, I agree. But I think adding more refs is a great way to do that. Because all of a sudden, you don't just have 4 eyes on something, right? You don't have one guy looking back at the play over there, one guy looking here. You have 4 different angles of the play at all time. So you can actually hopefully get a better look at what's going on. But I do agree it might be a little bit too much.
Yeah.
What they should do if they really want to fix it and they want to make it super accurate, they need to get rid of all the linesmen and all the officials on the ice, and they just need to have like electronically monitored. They have to have chips in the puck and chips in players' skates for offsides and for goals, and then the calls come from up high when there's penalty.
And then
we'll
hook them up with shock collars, and so when they go offside, they just shocks them, lets them know.
I really
they get
like
a
that.
penalty, and you just like fucking hold down the button, just like no. Bad.
Yeah,
bad
no, like a dog, exactly, like a shot collar. I'm like, right, like you put chips in their stick, so as soon as it goes too high, it immediately just gives them a little zap.
I love it.
All right, sounds like a good new NHL.
Wonderful. Hire me, Batman. So then other things that are out of the playoffs, because I know we love all this. A couple things. First off, Todd McClellan is hired by LA. We kind of touched on it last week. I mean, I know none of us are really going to have an opinion on this, but
is okay.
Side, it's LA. Do we think this will help Kovalchuk any? That'll be my one question to you guys, and we can move on.
Yes, because anything would help Kovalchuk that's different than what he went through this season.
Solid. Chris, you have an opinion one way or the other?
I mean, I don't really understand what Los Angeles is doing. I guess the off season is still to come, so we'll see. But they really need to just get rid of some of their players and get some picks and prospects. They could do a quick rebuild. Right now, they're not going to do a refresh because that's never going to work. Their players are starting to age out. It's just not going to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
except if Kovalchuk puts up 40.
They should trade Drew Doughty to the Winnipeg Jets.
Oh, 1-for-1, Tyler Myers?
No, Jacob Trouba, but we get something else probably. I don't know. I have to look at Doughty's contract. He's got a pretty long contract, right?
Yeah, and it's for
I think he's making 9.5 for the next 9 years or something like that.
8 after this one. Yeah.
He's not even 30 yet, right?
No, he's 31. To
31.
Google I go.
Yeah, Drew.
I'm gonna beat you.
Doughty. Drew Doughty is 29.
Dang it, he beat me.
And how long is his contract?
9 more seasons, I think, but the next year is for less money.
Yeah,
but the 8 seasons after that are a lot more.
All right, I can tell you.
Considering he's 29, I would do that trade. Would you guys?
Oh my goodness. Okay, I got Drew Doughty. Drew Doughty's 29. He's making $7 million this year. Next season, the 2019-20 season, his cap hit goes up to 11.
Yeah. He also
until 24-25, no move clause.
Yeah, and he has a no move clause right now.
Yeah.
No
move. Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, do you think Drew Doughty's going to want to stick? I mean, unless he really likes LA, which why wouldn't you? But if you know your team's going to be shit for 5 years, he's such a competitor. I could see that bugging him.
Well, I think that's probably the reason that LA hasn't tried to rebuild yet. Is they got their stud number 1 defenseman, so you might as well try.
They got an amazing first line center too. Yeah. Although he's starting to get old.
Well, yeah, and their goalie too. I mean, quick in net.
He's more questionable, I think, just because I don't. His groin's done, dude.
Yeah, every time he goes post to post, I feel like the entire Staples Center just cringes.
Yeah, but so the question again remains: if you're the Winnipeg Jets, Jacob Trouba is one, so he's still an RFA, but he's 1 year away from becoming a UFA after next season. He doesn't want to be in Winnipeg, so if you're the Winnipeg Jets and the Los Angeles Kings say 1-for-1 Trouba for Doughty and Doughty approves, do you do that trade?
I think to do that, you're losing because that's a lot of cap space to open up. I mean, Trouba's cap hit isn't even half of Doughty's next year. I
feel like this is kind of a lose-lose.
I don't know, guys, because I think so. What I would do. So obviously, Matthew Perreault comes off the books, so he's $3 million. You wouldn't resign Tyler Myers because that was the main concern about keeping him, is if Trouba goes and we don't have a replacement. So
I think if you lose Trouba and Myers, I feel like you definitely obviously have a chance to bring in Doughty and then hopes Sami Niku takes the step and slots in.
Right, and so Myers, Trouba, and Perreault make up for that cap hit, and Perreault's dead weight all he does is take stupid penalties. So thank God he's gonna be gone. I don't know. I would do it. I'd pull the trigger. It's a lot, and then you have to consider obviously Kyle Connor's going to get a big raise. Line is going to get a big raise. Little, you have to just consider whether you're going to keep him or not. We probably couldn't, but I'd do it.
I think it would cripple the Jets a little bit too much. And I don't know if Doughty's game will survive him getting old. I'm kind of 50-50 whether he can be one of those ageless wonders or not.
Yeah, I feel like Drew Doughty is slowly dipping towards the Duncan Keith boat.
Yeah, but I do think Doughty uses his mind more than he uses his skills kind of thing. He's more of he thinks the game a lot better. So maybe that translates. Guys,
that last game that the Jets played against LA, I think it was 4 or 5 games left in the season. Doughty seemed determined that he wanted to like make a statement and he wanted the Kings to beat the Jets, and he was amazing. Like, I don't know. I still think
no
he's got
doubt.
one on.
He's a game breaking defenseman, like when he wants to be, especially like right now. Like if he wants, he'll turn it on and he can definitely take over.
Yeah, but it's the question of when he loses that step, is he going to still be that effective?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, good question. Could be a boat anchor of a contract for sure.
Yeah, but I think also for the Jets, like realistically, you're going to get at least 4 or 5 good years out of them.
And I mean, 4 or 5 good years of Doughty with the forwards that
right. You're gonna win a couple cups most likely, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I still think that's not a trade that LA would do.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like it'd be a lot of cap space that they kind of use for sure, and then they still have a pretty solid defenseman in Trouba. I don't know. I mean, the more I say it out loud, the more I think, Chris, you're starting to convince me a little bit.
But the reason I don't think that's a trade LA would do is that I think unless like the one destination Doughty was willing to go would be Winnipeg, and then I'd be like, all right, maybe that's a trade that would happen. But I think if Doughty's willing to waive his no move, then he'll go. If he goes pretty much anywhere, that the trade ask is going to be so high. It'll be Trouba, a first, and also Morrissey or some stupid shit like that.
I don't know, because I think his contract situation really limits where he can go, right? And who would be interested even, right?
Yeah, I think it does.
Could the Edmonton Oilers pull off a trade for Drew Doughty? Probably not, right? Even as much as they want him.
Not at all.
Well, but this is the same thing as the Tavares situation, where if Tavares was interested in coming to your team, you'd move the cap so that you'd be able to take him.
Yeah, if Doughty came out and said, I want to play in Edmonton, then I guess at that point you'd have to really take stock of what you have and make a real consideration of, we got to move this because it's Doughty.
Yeah, but you guys have a lot of high-paid shit on your team. That's the problem, right?
Well,
it's okay. Only for the next 7 seasons, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. All right, so then Steve Yzerman takes over as the general manager of the Detroit Red Wings.
What a cock.
Sadly, he's not coming to Edmonton.
He's a total cock.
Dude, I'm so mad.
I am looking forward to what he's able to do in Detroit. I think this is the test to see. I mean, he built an amazing team in Tampa, and the trades he did were phenomenal. I think it's funny he left when he did, considering what just happened, and we'll get to that for sure, because we need to laugh at other people's pain.
Yeah, but whoever the next GM of the Oilers is, do not trade with the Red Wings. Never do it, not even once. You're going to lose.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll see, but I feel like this is, if he can bring the Detroit back, this will be his piece de resistance.
I hope he's successful.
Yeah,
but
it'll
also,
be awesome to watch.
I hate him at the same time. There's a little bit of conflicting emotions going on.
Yeah. And then my last thing outside of the playoffs is actually still playoffs related, sort of. The Condors, the AHL team, the Edmonton Oilers, are in the AHL playoffs, round 1. They actually won. So first off, I think they only made the playoffs once or something like that, and this was their first playoff win
Before they were in the ECHL, right? Because that's how it was set up, so it was a little weird.
So, I mean, shout out to the Condors for being a hell of a team this season.
Yeah. Shout out to William Olegason. He had an absolute snipe last night.
Yeah. And Bush just got sent down. I don't know if he'll see much action, but he is on the team.
I think he played last night, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You guys realize how pathetic you sound, right?
Dude, AHL playoffs matter, I swear.
I'm sorry. I love you guys, but come on.
All right. So we'll save the Jets for last. So first off, I guess we'll start with the best, the juiciest topic. Columbus, Tampa, sweet. I told you guys.
Good God. Good gravy.
And
Oh,
it
how
was
did that
amazing to
happen?
watch because Tampa fans have never dealt with something like this before. So the utter and absolute meltdown that happened was just beautiful.
Oh,
Did
so
you
good.
see how the Lightning actually apologized to their fans on Twitter? Was it Twitter?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
came out on Twitter and they were like, "We understand your pain and we don't have any words that will make it feel better. And this wasn't the ending we wanted, nor the one we dreamed of. And we thank you for the support. We'll see you next year."
Maybe.
Fuck you.
You know what the great thing is that I went to hockey last night and there was 18 guys and 2 goalies.
What?
The week before there was like 6 guys, so I'm very happy.
No one's watching playoffs anymore. Good shit.
That's right.
Good
So
shit.
what happened here? Like this was, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think we can call it. This is probably one of the biggest upsets in the last 10 years.
Maybe all time.
I don't know about
Well,
all time. There were some, young college kids that went and played against the Soviet Union way back when.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
God,
that was
shut
rigged
up.
from the start, dude.
Fucking Jesus.
But I mean, this was just systematic destruction.
Yeah. What can you say, right? It's like a superpower team losing to the underdogs. You never think it's going to happen until
underdogs that like aren't even like a tight knit group. Like it's literally a team of mercenaries.
Yeah. I mean,
I just think,
go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. It's your turn.
I just think that they just gelled. Like I just think that you look at the players they brought over, and it was like a bit of a hodgepodge, and you know how messed up they were when they first came over. Everybody was laughing because it was like these guys are going to miss the playoffs, and then they're going to lose all of these players.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that they just like started to gel and started to like be cohesive, and that was a big deal, right?
Well,
Because these are good players.
Also, I think that Tampa went 62 wins. They walked through the regular season without even batting an eye. They never dealt with adversity all season, sort of thing, Then they come to the playoffs. They go up 3-0 in game 1, and then the Jackets come back and win that game in regulation. And I think after that, like they were up 3-0. They're like, "Oh man, this is gonna be so easy. Look at this. We're already up 3-0 on these guys." And then they come back and lose that game, and their mental side. I think they crumbled. I mean, you can just tell, like Kucherov taking that hit, like they didn't know what happened.
Yeah, a lot of things, like kind of building on what both you guys said, but like a lot of stuff that people don't realize as well is that Columbus was 9-1-0 in their last 10 coming into the playoffs. Like they were playing good hockey all of a sudden. Like they were on just a tear. Sure.
And also Bobrovsky decided that he was going to be Bobrovsky.
Yeah, and there it is, right there. And like, the hot goalie can steal any series. Seen it before.
Yeah. It was incredible. And then how many did you guys watch many of the games of the 3 games?
Oh, only every single one.
Wonderful. So I mean, I don't know, but like the way I was looking at it from like a tactical standpoint, first off, John Cooper got unbelievably outcoached. It seemed like Tortorella knew exactly what the Lightning were trying to do. Like he'd probably stayed up for like a week straight leading up to the playoffs, just watching every Tampa game from the season. And like, so their forwards weren't stopping forecheckers. So Columbus dumped the puck in, and then there was no gap between the forwards on Tampa weren't holding off the forwards in Columbus. They weren't slowing them down any. So Columbus would dump it in, and as soon as the defenseman would grab the puck, forechecker was on him. It was just like just wave after wave after wave of hard forechecking, and then just like blocking every shot, which I mean Tortorella's MO, but it worked beautifully.
Yeah, he is definitely, it feels like a playoff coach. But another thing as well is like Hedman was kind of like he was injured for at least 2 of the games, and I didn't think he was all that good in the games he played. So I think he was definitely dealing with some injury there for sure the entire time. But also small sample sizes too, right? Like I'm a little bit wary of drawing too much conclusions from 4 games.
Yeah,
So.
for sure. Oh, I'm not. I mean, I don't think Columbus will win round 2, no matter who they play. But again, just like we were saying, Vegas is going to lose every game in the playoff last year. Could do it. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. I'm kind of rooting for them now.
Yeah, no, me for sure. It's an awesome story. Then the other sweep that almost no one is talking about because of the other sweep that happened on the night, the New York Islanders sweep the Pittsburgh Penguins.
AKA Rip My Bracket 2.0.
Yeah, and this one was one where I felt like we knew who was winning this series from game 1. Islanders had it all day, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, this one doesn't surprise me, boys, at all.
I had a kind of a feeling that the Islanders were going to surprise, but I was also, like, Laners look so good. It's just so hard to beat them right now, right? It's another goaltending playing well, team playing as a team kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Hundo.
And then it looked like, and honestly, in my opinion, from the games that I saw, Evgeny Malkin was just like, he just wasn't in the series. Like, his heart wasn't in it. Like, he was, like, the defense of the Islanders played Crosby, Kessel, and Malkin beautifully, like, super hard. Like, they locked down. But every time Malkin would get even, like, slightly knocked off balance, he would just get frustrated. Like, he looked like he was out of it. Like, his heart wasn't there, you know? And then the only other playoff round that is over, ended last night, the Colorado Avalanche beat the Calgary Flames in 5 games.
Dude, I got so many just heartbroken Snapchats last night. It was awesome.
Yes.
Oh, man. And I was at work when the game ended, and oh, man, so good.
Would you rather your team just missed out on the playoffs or made the playoffs and then immediately got swept in round 1?
Oh my God.
Oh
my God. The Flames, just their fans. I mean, they just deserve it just because they're fans alone. Fans are insufferable.
Well, then I don't know if you saw, but they lose last night and at home, and they threw jerseys on the ice.
Yeah, that's our thing. Oh my
God. Get out of here. Yeah, and there's a reason. The Oilers have sucked for like how long now? There's a reason for you throwing your jersey and the incompetence of your management and your ownership. You have a reason. You're just not like petulant children. Oh my God.
Oh. They finished second in the NHL, and then they lose in the first round. Time to throw jerseys.
I mean, like, Calgary's not even allowed to be mad. They weren't even the best team in the NHL. They didn't even get swept. Who cares?
So, I mean, I think this is the same sort of thing as, like, Grubauer played unreal.
Yeah,
and Colorado gelled as a team.
And McKinnon is a literal god.
Well, that first line is dominant. Like, they just didn't have they just did not have an answer for Rantanen, McKinnon, Landeskog.
Yeah, it's just
I think
Smith. I think Smith even played well, relatively.
Smith played his mind out.
Relatively well.
So I actually saw a few stats. Colorado had so going into this game, the Flames in the regular season allowed the fewest shots on net per game, like they were the most sound cohesively. And in game 2 and 3, Colorado had over 50 shots in each game. And
Calgary's penalty kill was just awful the entire time as well.
Well, is that Calgary's penalty kill being bad or at the Avs being unstoppable on the power play?
I think it's Calgary's penalty kill failing to change. Because, like, they were getting killed because, like, they have such a passive system, right? They just sit in their little triangle.
Yeah,
almost a box, a little triangle with one guy high kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they just sat there in this little box.
And the thing is, Colorado's power play, the way it's set up with the 2 one-timers with McKinnon and Rantanen on either side, like, it's set up to just bomb it on. So, like, you can't play passive against that. Because they'll just have it up at the point with Tyson Barrie, and Tyson Barrie will be like, McKinnon, you want a one-timer? Or Rantanen, you want a one-timer?
And that's what happened over and over and over again. And Calgary just didn't stop it.
Yeah. So I think my favorite part of last night though was watching Johnny Gaudreau having 3 breakaways, one of them being a penalty shot, and him not scoring on any of them.
Oh, I feel a little bit bad for Johnny Gaudreau.
Nope, not even a sliver.
Don't feel bad for him. Don't you dare.
Every time something isn't called his way, he looks like he's about to cry.
Yo,
The worst. He's the worst. He just should feel lucky that he has not been like lit up by somebody yet.
he's too fast.
Yeah.
I would love Dustin Byfuglien to catch a hold of him just once.
Yeah.
He would launch him into space is what would happen.
Won't happen this playoff series. Or this playoffs, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe next year.
Okay, so then quickly before we get to the Jets, the last couple, just a little recap of where the playoffs are at right now. Toronto is leading Boston 3-2. I think they played tonight for a chance to Toronto to move on. Though I think we all know Boston's going to win this, and it's going to be a Game 7 in Boston because, of course, and that'll be awesome. Let's see here. Washington Capitals and Carolina tied 2-2. I'm a bit surprised.
Yeah, I didn't think Carolina would be doing this well.
No, I think, as we've said, I mean, first off, Mrazek is playing out of his mind, and the team's playing well. Oh, though I will say, I want to know your guys, especially Chris, your opinion on the Ovechkin-Svechnikov fight.
Oh my God, knock the guy out. Holy
Because
shit.
Twitter was not happy. Twitter was like, why is there fighting? And then, first off, they were like, we don't need fighting in the game. And then there were the people that were like, oh, Ovechkin, what a piece of shit. Because Ovechkin's like, what? He's like 31, 32?
Yep.
And he just punched the lights out of a 19-year-old?
He also weighs 235 pounds and is 6'3". He's not a small dude.
Svechnikov is not that. So, obviously, there's.
But
So, yeah, I mean, so what do you guys think?
Do you want to take it first, Chris, or you want me to do it?
I just asked, so Svechnikov, like, willingly fought him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he asked for it.
Too bad, so sad.
Yep. That's about how I feel.
Seriously. I'm sorry. You're gonna fight somebody, what happens to you is what happens to you.
Yeah. Talk shit, get hit.
Yeah, yes, for sure.
Just like Shen punching Byfuglien in the back of his head when he wasn't even looking at him. Byfuglien turned around, just body slammed him, and he's lucky like the ref got in the way because Shen would be dead right now. They'd be planning his funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. I think this just comes down to Svechnikov was a rookie. I don't know what he was thinking. Is this his first NHL fight too?
Yeah.
His last one, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably, man. There is a lot of guys I go
Also,
after. before,
Svechnikov isn't playing tonight either. He's missed the last 2 games.
Dude, I'm not surprised.
He got knocked out.
Yeah.
Like, hello.
He was out before he hit the ice.
Oh. I know.
Fuck, dude.
Oh my God. Like, look, I think people can debate whether fighting should be in the NHL or not. I don't know. Like, I think of the very few things the NHL has gotten right, and it's minuscule the amount of things they've gotten right. One of the things they have is they've managed to eliminate fighting by appointment, which I'm so glad for because it's the stupidest shit I've ever seen.
Well, you don't
but
want
they're
the,
still
you don't
allowed
want the WWE like
no.
fight card.
So it's just a waste of time. I don't want to see a boxing match break out in a hockey game. I think if two guys are pissed at each other and they're like legit hockey players and they want to fight, I think that should always be part of the game. But so the NHL has managed to keep that, right? If you want to fight, you can still fight.
Yeah.
But you're not going to have these big fucking idiots like George Peros skating around the ice just looking to fight people. It's stupid.
I agree. I like the fighting part of hockey, but only if it's like an actual real fight. Like,
I know.
Yeah, that Ovechkin Svechnikov fight, that was fun to watch. Like,
It was a good fight.
It was a good tilt. Like, Svechnikov actually landed a couple punches. He did.
Like obviously Svechnikov lost. Obviously, he got knocked out. But like first off, I'd like to applaud him for like even attempting to fight Ovechkin.
Yeah, he's got some balls. I'll give him that. He's stupid, but he's got some balls.
And he's stuck in there for about 3 more seconds, or probably, I mean, I think he only lasted 3 seconds, but that's 3 more seconds than I would have lasted.
Yeah, Ovechkin drops the gloves with me. I'm done, dude. I'm already on the ice. Like, he doesn't have to throw a punch.
Exactly. He'd flinch and I'd probably pass out.
Yep.
So then we have the Stars and the Predators tied 2-2. Though I will say the Stars, as of right now, are in the middle of the game of Game 5, and the Stars are at 5-3.
Yes.
Jesus, dude.
So I think this has been interesting. A lot of series that people are like, oh, I think this one's going to be obvious. Tampa, Calgary. I think this one and the Hurricanes as well, where like the kind of the smaller teams are giving the bigger teams a little like some struggle, some like a run for their money.
Well, here's the thing. I think with that series, like the Predators are the same as the Jets this year. They basically sputtered their way into the playoffs. Like it was almost between the Jets and the Predators. It was like, I don't want first seed, you take it. No, you take it. The entire like 2019. And like the Blues almost wrested it from both of them being dead last in the NHL at the beginning of 2019.
Yeah. And the thing is, like,
they almost took the first seed. Like, that's crazy.
And the Stars themselves haven't really been lighting the world on fire either. So I kind of feel like the Stars-Pred series is like it's even as it should be right now.
100%. Just like the Blues-Jets series should be pretty. It's just as even as it is because those teams, like, they're on different trajectories. Like the Stars and the Blues had to fight their way into the playoffs. You know, just like you can say that about the Lightning and the
Jackets.
And the Blue Jackets as well, right?
Yeah.
The Jackets had to fight their way into that last playoff spot. They were in playoff mode for like weeks. The Blues were like, or I mean, the Lightning were just like waiting and relaxing and just having fun. So
I wonder if you're going to start seeing coaches almost treat the last couple games of the season like a tune-up game for the playoffs, where they just go.
They should
where they just try and like they would employ the tactics like they would if they were facing X team, and then just play the entire 2 games like that.
Yeah, totally should.
Just like kind of how they do it in like college football, right? You know, like the number 1 ranked school isn't going to play the number 2 ranked school week 1. They're going to go out and go smash up on some college nobody's ever heard of before.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first off, you got to give the guys some confidence, and then second of all, like get people used to the system, like get it as much of like a habit and just like reflex as possible.
Yeah, and get into the system, get it into that. It's like it's do or die hockey mode already, so that you're not like Tampa and just get caught so flat-footed.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they were napping and they took advantage.
Hire me, Edmonton. I'll be your new head coach.
And then last series, other than the Blues and the Jets, is the Sharks and Knights. It is 3-2 Golden Knights right now. This has been a fun series, and I feel like not many people are watching it because there's so many other stuff going on, and they're always the late night games, at least over here, because this has been a fun series. It is high scoring. The Sharks and like just I feel like honestly these teams are so evenly matched. And man, does Mark Stone look good as a Golden Knight, and I knew he would, and it's so frustrating.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm surprised the San Jose Sharks are doing as well as they are. I kind of thought the Knights were going to stomp them a little bit.
Yeah, I was a little concerned, especially with the Sharks' goaltending issues. I thought that would definitely be their downfall, and it still might. I mean, honestly, like Golden Knights could finish it out tonight, and I don't feel like anyone would be super surprised. But it has been they hate each other, and it is fun.
All right, Chris, tell us how much you hate the Knights.
He's gone.
He's gone?
He's gone.
No.
Right as we're about to get to the good stuff. Oh, he's back.
He's back, Chris. I just asked you a question.
Wait. So, do you know how I actually ended up dropping this time?
Tell us.
Why?
I backed out of the app by mistake. I the entire thing without messing up once. Shit. I choked.
Chris, tell us how much you hate the Knights.
Oh my God, I hate them so much. I have been watching this series for two reasons. Number one, I hate the fucking Knights, and I don't want to see them be successful. And I feel like if I watch that, I will like throw a chair through my window, and I can't afford that. Number two, I don't give a shit about the San Jose Sharks in any way, shape, or form. Like, I couldn't care less about them. I look at Joe Thornton and his stupid beard, and I just want to punch him in the face.
Well, that's controversial.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, if I would have known that, like, the Sharks were, like, beating on them, physically, I probably would be more apt to watch them, and I'll probably watch this series going forward. Thank you.
Awesome. And so then that brings us to the one that is closest and nearest and dearest to our hearts.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Yeah. Last podcast, Jets go out, first two games at home, they lose. I think they drop the leads both times. Then they go to Winnipeg, and I didn't watch these two games at all, and they win both of them, tying the series up. And then I watched Game 5, and St. Louis wins.
You're a dick.
It's all your fault.
I have to stop.
Okay, so I just got to go, I just want to go on a little mini rant before we talk about what happened in the last game.
Yeah.
So, first of all, there's two components to this. Number one, people are, acting like the Jets should have swept the Blues. And that is the most ridiculous notion in the entire world, knowing the trajectory of these two teams, what both these teams have done. I mean, I didn't actually isolate it. I should have before this podcast. But what the Jets record is in 2019 and what the Blues record is in 2019, the Blues should be heavy favorites to win this game or this series.
The Blues have been the best team in the NHL in 2019.
Yeah. So, but people are all just shitting on the Jets for not have just swept this team, especially considering what's happened with these other series that we've already talked about. It's ridiculous. The second thing that I really want to complain about or bitch about is the way that people, Jets fans in particular, like to shit on players like Ben Sherratt and Tyler Myers, who are bottom three defensemen for the Winnipeg Jets. Yet they fail to talk about how Jacob Trouba has been a steaming pile of shit and how Dustin Byfuglien, although I will give him a bit of slack because he's coming back from injury, but he has been less than stellar. Same with Morrissey. Morrissey's starting to play a little bit better, but he has been a shadow of himself. Yet if you look at forums online and stuff, people are pulling out all these stupid goals adjusted Corsi and WAR and all these other stupid statistics, and they're saying Tyler Myers blah 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 or Ben Sherratt blah blah blah. Meanwhile, if you look at the last game, who caused the Winnipeg Jets to lose that game? It was Jacob Trouba and it was Dustin Byfuglien. So I just wanted to get that off my chest.
Also, using advanced stats from just one series is never a good idea because, once again, sample sizes too small.
Yeah, and that's what my major argument is with stats. I think stats can be very beneficial and useful, but I find most people use stats in isolation to prove their point or to control a narrative when it's not even really valid. Yeah,
if you're trying to look at what someone's done over the last 5 games, using advanced stats or even stats in general, it's I almost feel like the eye test is probably the best way to tell how well a player's been playing over the last 5 games or something like that. If you're trying to look over an entire season, I'd probably give a little bit more merit to advanced stats in general.
So, I mean, looking at the series, the series is tied 2-2, goes back to Winnipeg. The Jets start really strong in the game. They build a 2-0 lead, including a goal in the first 12 seconds of the game. Fastest goal ever to start a playoff game, by the way.
Oh.
And then what happens? Few minutes left, or less than 2 minutes left in the second period. Jacob Trouba takes a stupid penalty. The Blues score.
Him and Perreault, all series, have been taking a ton of penalties.
Awful. Just bad penalties. So the Blues score on the resulting power play in the third period. Then Dustin Byfuglien. So there was controversy whether this goal should have counted because Sundqvist fell into the net, dislodging it as the puck crossed the line. I think that's a good goal, and I think you guys will agree. There was no interference on Hellebuck. It does not matter because Byfuglien knocked Sundqvist into the net. It doesn't matter if the net was dislodged before the puck crossed the line because the defending team knocked the net off the mooring. So I don't think there's an argument with that. My problem with the goal was with Dustin Byfuglien. And instead of fucking around with a puck in your skates, knock Sundqvist down. Play over. It's over. I don't know if you guys remember the play, but
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, most of my memory of the play is just the goal, the questionable net going off kind of thing, which I agree it should still be a goal. So
basically, I do as well.
The puck crosses the line. Byfuglien's got really good gap on Sundqvist, and the puck is kind of like floating around Byfuglien's feet. So Byfuglien takes a stick and he starts swatting at it, and Sundqvist has got some speed on him. So what Byfuglien should have done was ignore the puck and just knocked Sundqvist down. If he did that, play is over. But he starts trying to like swat at this bouncing puck in his feet. It goes through him, and of course Sundqvist goes around him, and that's what caused the issue.
Yeah,
and then Doughty started on the game. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That kind of seems out of character for Byfuglien. I was kind of under the assumption that he was normally the guy that's just going to toss you to the ice rather than worrying about the puck.
Well, that's true, and that's why I think like good Byfuglien would have just knocked Sundqvist down, and it would have been over, right?
Good Byfuglien.
But there's good Byfuglien and bad Byfuglien. I'm sure you guys have had players before who when they're good, they're great, and when they're bad, they're not great. And Byfuglien is definitely one of those. Yeah. But for me, like the kicker is the goal to win the game for the Blues. What in the fuck is Jacob Trouba doing? What is he doing? What is he doing in that goal?
Doughty?
I hope so. He doesn't want to be in Winnipeg. He's got no intensity. He's just get him out of town. I want somebody who cares.
Hellebuck has looked a little better, I will say.
Yep. He's played well enough for us to win.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, at least recently, those first two games were rough. But my question is Jordan Binnington, relating to the Blues. Jordan Binnington is on fire.
He's so good.
Here's the thing. Jordan Binnington didn't do a Murray and just show up for the playoffs. He did this in the regular season too. He's the reason they're where they are. So now my question is, should Jordan Binnington steal the Calder from Pettersson?
Well, the votes are done before the playoffs, so.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's such a small sample size, right? We've seen goalies do this before, right? Like late bloomer goalies come into the NHL. They have this short period where they're just lights out, unconscious, fantastic. And then they just fade away into the sunset and you never hear from them again, right?
AKA the Hamburglar.
Right. Or John Kerry, I think. He played for Minnesota for a while. He was really good. And then he just there's a lot of examples of goaltenders like that.
Yeah,
whereas Pettersson is a legitimate star in the making player.
Yeah. I also don't really like it when 25-year-olds win the Calder. I kind of feel like it takes away from the trophy a little bit. But
do you guys remember when Sergei Makarov won it?
No, I don't think I was alive. But
shut up.
I do remember when
I'm more when Panarin beat McDavid out.
Paraninen. Say his name right, Mike. Paraninen.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Paraninen. Well, boys, okay, so Chris, tonight is Game 6, Blues on the line. How are you feeling going into this one?
I think the Jets win this one. I feel like a lot of the players are playing better, and I feel like Dustin Byfuglien is probably going to have a much better game because I think he realizes that, he hasn't been great so far. I feel like the Jets are going to win tonight.
All right. So what you're saying is I should watch the whole game because they're going to win.
No, I feel like you should stay far away from any television broadcast of any sort.
Well,
Okay.
Chris, I haven't watched I've watched parts of the games, so I'll watch tonight's games in entirety, so I'll counterbalance out Michael.
Or maybe you'll make it even worse.
Well, maybe. Either way, it'll be entertaining for me.
Oh, you are a bastard.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else?
I think Binnington's my new favorite NHL player.
Really?
Yeah. You see, I'm just
Man.
just fucking skate off the ice after they won. Didn't even
Oh,
care.
dude.
Didn't even celebrate. God.
Dude, all right. So first off, Binnington is ice cold. Do you see his interview where he was like, "Are you nervous?" And he's like, "Do I look nervous?" No. There's your answer.
God.
But then also shout out to the Winnipeg Jets fans because the last game they had a "You look nervous" chant going,
Good shit.
and so every time he'd go out to play the puck, they just hear "You look nervous."
Did it work?
Well, I mean the Blues won, so no.
Maybe next time they should start chanting, "You don't look nervous," little reverse psychology on them.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, man, Binnington has made some huge saves.
Yeah, I mean that you could say that there was times in the second period in that last game the Jets could have got opened up maybe a 3 or 4 goal lead, which would have made the comeback not possible. But at the end of the day, he let in enough goals for the Jets to win, and they choked in the third period, which has been pretty common for the Winnipeg Jets this year, unfortunately.
Yeah, I thought the Jets were the better team for sure, but
yeah, I'm just thinking more of like he's obviously the Jets aren't capitalizing, but he's also making the timely save. I think in game 2 when Scheifele hit that one-timer and he gets over and catches it with his toes, full splits or in the last minute, and that any other goalie right now for the most part that they're going overtime now, and then it's anybody's game again.
Mm-hmm. I think he has definitely given the Blues a chance to win every single game he's been in,
except for the 6-3 game.
Don't worry about that one. No, we're not talking about that one. It ruins my narrative.
I will give Binnington credit for bouncing back from that game, though. That would have shattered a lot of goalies' confidence, but he wasn't shattered, and he was good. He was actually not bad in that game either, even though the Jets scored 6 goals.
Yeah, I'm really interested.
Here's what I think. Here's how the Jets win. I think someone expendable from the Jets lineup should take a run at him.
No, bad.
Take him out, and then they have to put Jake Allen in, and it's a for sure win.
Bad, Michael.
Matthew Perreault, first 5 seconds of the game.
I'm interested to see, though, if Binnington can keep this up past this season. Is he going to be that flash in the pan, or is he going to be a mainstay?
That's the question, right? I mean, this kid.
That's a godsend for St. Louis.
This kid was in the ECHL not too long ago.
Well, he was. Have you heard the story about that? About how they were gonna. So the Blues were gonna send down Binnington from the AHL to their ECHL team because they had a kind of a glutton goaltending. And then he just straight up told them that if they sent him down, he would refuse to report. So instead, he got to go play for the Providence Bruins, where he put up a .926 save percentage over the rest of the season.
Oh, right, because he was shared, right? He was shared with – no, yeah. It was the Wolves. It was the Chicago Wolves.
Was it? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, so which is another story which just kind of made me love him even more.
Yeah.
So now I have a theory, though. Now, thinking back to that, do you think that, A, Binnington has a chip on his shoulder, which has allowed him to play the way he's played, and B, if he comes back next year as the number 1 goalie for the Blues, that chip is gone, and that will change his intensity level and maybe how well he plays?
It very well could, but also millions and millions of dollars are also a very good motivator, I've heard. So Who knows?
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
True that.
It'll be interesting. I mean, if he does turn out to be what they need, like that is a godsend for St. Louis because going into the season with Chad Johnson, I think, and frickin' Jake Allen.
Yeah, they just had no luck in their goaltending over the last, I don't know, 7 seasons. It feels like.
Yeah, it's been bad.
They have a good team. They have a good team.
Yeah.
O'Reilly is like, I would love to have that guy on my team. Pietrangelo, Parayko, both excellent players.
Yeah, they haven't. Like I out of the West right now, I don't even have a clue who's gonna win.
Colorado.
Like, they're gonna run into Vegas. I think Vegas matches them so well.
Yeah.
Well, probably Vegas. Could be St. Louis, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be. Listen, it's gonna be. These playoffs have already been so fun.
Yeah, they've just proven I know nothing about hockey.
What a story if the St. Louis Blues go from being dead last in the NHL at the start of 2019 to being Stanley Cup champions. Can you imagine?
Whoever put that bet is going to be a happy camper.
Well, I don't know if you guys heard, but some guy dropped like $100,000 on the Columbus to sweep the Lightning before the series started, and he walked out of Game 4 with like 1.2 mil.
Oh my
gosh.
God. How the balls, dude.
Yeah.
Also, he's a moron, but the balls.
Well, guys, I mean, if you guys don't have anything else, I think that is it for episode 26. This will be interesting. This time next week, the Jets will either be in round 2 or not.
Who is your guys' favorite player who ever wore the number 26?
Dalton, how about you kick us off since you have it?
Oh, my favorite is Martin St. Louis.
Didn't you do that one last week?
What, 26?
No.
Last week was 25. We didn't do this last week. Or like any of the weeks before that, because I forgot.
Oh, you're right. You're just adding this in. Allow me to not
Here, I'll just talk about how much I love St. Louis. Wow, he was so good, and also he coaches Columbus's power play now, which is really funny for me since they just swept the Lightning.
All right. I got my. Oh, here we go. My favorite number 26 to play for the Oilers, Brandon Manning.
Oh, fuck, dude. Good shit.
Best 26 on the Oilers is Todd Marchand, man.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Todd Marchand was a beauty. He was a beauty hockey player. He did everything well. Yeah, what a great hockey player.
But Brandon Manning's a way better meme answer, so.
Other notable 26s, Eric Cole, Arcabello, and Eero Pakarinen.
Arcabello.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. Also, Eero the Hero.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, who is your favorite number 26?
Well, I would say, there's not a lot of 26s that come to mind right away. But for me, I would have to say just Blake Wheeler just because he is a great player. He's one of the best. I mean, he's such a big man and he just does things so well. But Todd Marchand has got to be a close second for me because that, for me, is one of my favorite times as a hockey fan.
Yeah, those were good times.
Back when the Oilers were good, sort of, not really.
Yeah, it was. Well, you know what? At least, I don't know. I think it's different. They grinded, you know?
Yeah, they're a different kind of team, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That team, I know I always talk about the 2006 Oilers, but that team just, it just all came together at the last minute. They backed themselves into the playoffs, but every player on that team played to their max potential during those playoffs. Greer, Morrow, Pisani, Marchand, you could go on and on.
Pronger.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, do you want to feel really old again? The 2006 Stanley Cup playoffs are my first memory of ever watching hockey.
Mine as well.
Yeah, I hate you guys.
I remember 2006. I think I was 7.
I think I was 8 for those playoffs.
Yeah. I remember Oilers lose Game 7 against Carolina. We watched it in the base. Calgary. I remember coming upstairs and sitting on the bar and sobbing.
Oh, dude, I just cried on the couch.
And the thing is like, right, like I'm 7, so I still don't even really fully understand the game or like why I care about this team. But I just remember because I lived in Calgary at the time, I'd get on the bus and everyone in Calgary was just chirping me on the way there. And I'm like, I'm telling you, we're so good. And then getting on that, I was like, I think I told my mom, I don't want to go to school tomorrow.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it was brutal.
I don't even think like anybody chirped me over it. Like in Calgary, people were just they thought Edmonton was going to be able to do it. They were just so sad.
Oh, they were ruthless on me, man.
Or maybe it's because I look so sad.
Yeah, they didn't want to tip you over the edge.
Oilers suck. No, they don't.
Well, that does it, boys, for episode 26. I look forward to seeing where the playoffs take us. You can follow us on Twitter at BlueLineSouth, SoundCloud, YouTube, Anchor, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, South of the Blue Line Podcast. We are there. And that does it for this episode, boys. We will see you next week. Go Jets, go.
Happy 420.
Go Jets, go.